muscles that move the forearm. Most of the muscles and movements come from the scapula and from the humerus to the ulna and the radius. There are three types of movement: flexion of the forearm at the elbow, extension of the forearm, and rotation of the forearm. First, flexion of the forearm. There are a group of muscles that are along the anterior surface of the humerus. The biceps brachii, their origin is in the scapula, and their insertion is in the tuberosity of the radius. So here you can see the two heads originating from the scapula, and then the tuberosity of the radius is this notch right up here along the radius. The biceps brachii is also involved in the lateral rotation of the hand, such as opening a doorknob. Flexion of the forearm continued. The brachialis along the anterior surface of the humerus. The origin is in the anterior shaft of the humerus, and the insertion is the coronoid process of the ulna, as indicated here. The third muscle involved in the flexion of the forearm is the brachioradialis, and that's this muscle that crosses along in here with the origin at the distal end of the humerus, and the insertion at the lateral side of the radius, right above the styloid process. Right in here, the styloid process. The second group of muscles are those that are extending the forearm, and this is the triceps brachii. The triceps tri, as in 3 heads for the one muscle. The origin is along the humerus and the scapula, back behind, and the insertion is the Olschanen process of the ulna, in here. The triceps brachii is the only muscle on the back of the arm. So here you can notice that the lateral head is obviously on the lateral side of the humerus. The medial head is tucked down in, and the long head is along the back. You can see medially to the body, and the lateral head obviously is lateral to the body. The third category of muscles that move the forearm are the rotator muscles. You have the supinators and the pronators. The supinators are the palm up, and the pronators allow the palm to go down. The supinator is a very short muscle with the origin at the crest of the ulna and the lateral head of the humerus, and then the lateral surface of the radius is the insertion point This is very small muscle right along the edge there. There are two pronators, the pronator teres and the pronator quadratus. The pronator teres originates on the medial epicondyle of the humerus and the coronoid process. The insertion point is on the lateral surface of the radius. You notice that this hand is with the thumb in the posterior part, so this is the radius down in here. The pronator quadratus, the origin is in the distal end of the ulna. Again, the hand is palm down, the posterior surface, so this outer bone is the ulna. And then just this small little muscle here is the pronator quadratus with the insertion at the distal end of the radius. Both of the pronator muscles and the supinator muscles are small, short. The surface anatomy, I thought it would be interesting to see what the muscles look like from the surface. So I hope you can catch this. The biceps brachii, this is with the palm up, flexed. The biceps brachii is the main muscle on the anterior surface. The brachialis is along the lateral side by the lateral epicondyle of the humerus. And then the brachioradialis is this muscle that bulges out along the outer part of your forearm. Since you're showing the posterior part of your forearm, this bump right here is the styloid process of the ulna. You can point that up like that. That's the styloid process of the ulna. And this is the styloid process of the radius. The triceps brachii are interesting to look at from the flexed position. Here you have the long head. The bulging out in the middle is the lateral head of the triceps. When your arm is flexed, this right here is the lateral epicondyle of the humerus, and this bone here is the ulnocranium process of the ulna.